Greetings to readers, viewers, and listeners, and welcome to this next edition of the Autistic SuperBlog's The Hot Take. This one, I'm going to be talking about two things that are really important to me. As as you guys all know, I'm a game show fan, so I'm kind of I kind of have like GSN buzzer basically at my beck and call when it comes to my TV. It's one of my favorite shows. I mean, it's two of my favorite game show podcast not podcast, but stations when it comes to something like this. But there's one thing and there's another podcast I'd like to give a shout out to, and it's the wonderful duo, a wonderful trio actually, of Christian Carrion, Tom Bastek, and Mike Jacobs. The wonderful trio known as the Game Show Guys from Tell 'em What They've Won. So I just want to give a bit of a shout out there, but it also kind of comes into what I really want to talk about. One of the things that I like about game shows and about Tell 'em What They've Won is that game shows in general are exciting. They're competitive, but they're also something that's fun. That are informational. They're educational, I should say. I mean, just from my point of view, Press Your Luck, Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, The Price is Right. I'd be a sacrilege if I didn't say anything about that. But the one thing I wanted to talk about is that Christian Carrion and his crew from BuzzerBlog, shout out to Corey Anatata, um, are actually on the works on doing something with another podcast that they're doing called "Tell Us About Yourself," which will be about game show contestants. From what I hear, game show contestants that were champions or who are game show contestants just in general that I that get a chance to actually give their side of the story as to how the behind the scenes works when it comes to game shows. That really kind of comes to everything that they had a chance to learn when it comes to game shows and their experiences on them, which I'm really excited about. I think you guys should check it out too. I've left what do you call it? I've left links under the description for tell them what they've won, not only for BuzzerBlog but also the launch thing for the premiere for Tell Us About Yourself, which again I'm looking forward to. So I just want to plug that out there, and that also kind of gets me into another segue that I wanted to talk about, and that's the Jeopardy Tournament of Champions, which is going on as I speak, um, or is being done as we speak. Um, One of the things I like about this Tournament of Champions, and bring another bring another a podcast in here, Inside Jeopardy. Um, from what I've heard from them in past episodes, is that they wanted to not take down the format that we know and love, but also revamp it towards more of a competitive style. When it comes to a more competitive style, when it comes to Jeopardy as a whole, because we also have to remind ourselves Jeopardy is an institution which is celebrating its 40th year next year. Wheel of Fortune is doing theirs this year, and The Price is Right has already done their 50th last year. My point to bring that up is that it's important to really get an idea as to modernize things. There's that balance. There's a balance between doing something unique and original that can really get people excited, but it's also something where you have to be careful that you don't alienate the fan base that has kept you around for so long. So I understand Jeopardy is some way of doing this. They're trying to make this more competitive, but they're also with taking away the non wild card wins, the wild card spots, which I understand. But they're also trying to make it a lot more. Um, they're also trying to make it a lot more competitive in that regard, so that people that have gone in there have earned their way in without a technicality to their name. Although, although it really doesn't matter at that point, because there's a lot of things that can go on in a Jeopardy show and in all game shows, really. I mean, you have the lights, you have the people that are there, you have the crowd, You have the randomness of a wheel in Wheel of Fortune's case, but the fact of the matter is, it's all about having fun, right? It's all about earning money, of course, but it's all about having fun at the same time. So this kind of gets me to the recent Tournament of Champions. What they've decided to do with the quarterfinals are 6 games each of 18 players. The winners of each game advancing to the semifinals. The semifinals will also include Amy Schneider, Matamodio, and Mateo Roach, who are all super champions and have earned first round byes. The semifinals are 3 games, 9 players, 6 of the winners, and 3 seeded players, and the winners of each of those games advance into the finals. Now, here's the interesting twist to this. It kind of borrows from the GOAT tournament for the greatest of all time. There's 3 games guaranteed, up to 7 games possible, and the first to 3 is the champion. I think it's a really interesting format. Really, I think it's really something that really Jeopardy's needed. I mean, I'm kind of skeptical about how it works. I mean, I've never seen it before, and you've never seen it before. And as an autistic person, I'm looking at this and like, how different is this? Then I'm also thinking, how different is this? So it's kind of that kind of deal. And I'm kind of skeptical, but I'm also excited. So in the quarterfinals, as it is right now, it's Maureen O'Neill, Andrew He, Tyler Rode, John Faut, and Eric Ashek who have qualified to be in the semifinals. Those semifinals will have Amy Schneider, Matt Amodio, and Mateo Roach. Currently going on right now, the only one that isn't going on right now because it hasn't been aired is Zach Newkirk, Jessica Stevens, and Sam Buttrey. And we'll know all about that tomorrow or on Tuesday. I think it's. I can't pick a winner because I thought Brian Chang would be someone to look out for. Rowan Ward would be someone to look out for. I thought the Ryan Long had a chance. So I'm gonna reserve judgment on who I think is gonna win until afterwards. Just to kind of give like a background check on what's going on. But I really think that this whole situation, this whole format, definitely helps Jeopardy in the long run. It's something that I think really is needed, but it's also something that enhances Jeopardy's legacy as it is an institution. So one of the things that I've also wanted to talk about is the Beep Bop Boop. You might have heard of those guys. When it comes to the Jeopardy, I've missed them, and I would like to see them back in the 40th season. I mean, it wouldn't be such a bad idea to kind of modernize it. I mean, Sonic has done it. Super Mario has done it. I mean, so modernization might be the way to go, or to put on Inside Jeopardy. Either way, I kind of miss it, and I know I'm not alone in this case. So, with that being said, I wanted to give a shout out to Christian Cage, to Christian Carrion, Matt, trying to think, Christian Carrion, Mike Jacobs, Tom Bastek, Matt, Corey Annotato from BuzzerBlog and from TellTheMWhatThey'veWon.com. Check those guys out if you get a chance. I mean, you might get to understand and appreciate game shows the way I have. So check them out. Check them out at BuzzerBlog. You can check them out at BuzzerBlog.com, TellTheMWhatThey'veWon.com, and especially in the descriptions below. You can check out all my videos on this and other things on the Autistic SuperBlog.wordpress.com and on YouTube. Stay safe, stay strong, play fair, and as always, shine on.